Hello everyone, welcome to A Crow in Her Garden, and today is April 27th and spring is in full swing here in my garden, and I'm just going to do a quick tour. I did a lot of seed planting today, and I'm basically just going to go around the garden just to show where I have put everything, and so I can also be able to keep track of when I planted everything. So we're going to start with this garden bed right here. My arch trellises. So right here in this spot, I've planted Muncher cucumbers, planning to train them to grow up this side of the trellis right here. On this side, I planted Boston pickling cucumbers. They're going to climb up and over this trellis. I've also planted more Boston pickling cucumbers over here on this side too. And then the rest of this garden space, I'm planning to possibly plant some peppers and maybe basil. Some basils might end up going here also. Walking on down, my garlic is doing fantastic. This should be ready to harvest by the end of June, and just from what I can tell, I'm hoping to have some pretty big heads of garlic. I'm really excited. I grew twice as much garlic this year as I grew last year, so I'm hoping to be able to have some to possibly give away to family and friends this year. Over here on this side, this is sage, and it is flowering, and it is so beautiful. And I let it flower because, number one, I want to have some beneficial insects, the pollinators. This gives them something to snack on while they're waiting for everything else to flower. And then over here I have my thyme, which I have cut back significantly, taken some inside. I'm planning to dry it because I'm all out of thyme. No pun intended. Haha. Then right here, I may end up planting some peppers there, or I'm just not sure yet what I'm going to put there. So we'll just have to see. And over here, an update on my potatoes. They have sprouted. They sprouted a couple weeks ago, and there are still some that are just beginning, like that one right there is just beginning to push through the soil. They're doing great, looking healthy, doing great. Now in this garden bed, just like last year, I've planted okra seeds here. Peyton, my son, helped me plant okra seeds here. And then I am going to put some sunflowers right here like I did last year. They were so beautiful, and the bees loved them, and the birds loved them when they had seeds in the heads, and they were just so beautiful. And I just don't know where else I could put them currently, and they did so well there. And they crowded out the okra a little bit, but I had plenty of okra last year. So then over here, nothing is in these barrels yet, but I'm planning to put my Martino's Roma tomatoes here again. This is where I decided to plant my cilantro this year, and it is now flowering, and I'm basically done with it. I'm not planning to harvest any more off of it because once it flowers, the flavor changes and it's not as good anymore. And in honesty, pretty soon I have to rip this out anyway because a tomato plant is going to be going right there. Hello, Peyton. Over here in this garden bed is where I know that I'm going to be putting some peppers. So I'm hoping to give them plenty of space so that they will have a chance to bush out a little bit and grow really well. Mama. Then up here, this is where I'm going to be planting dill. And dill, from what I've heard, reseeds itself very readily, so there will probably be dill. I pulled all the mint out of this bed, but as you can see, I don't think I'll ever be rid of the mint. But that's okay, because I love mint. So if it wants to come back a little bit, that is totally fine with me. Those barrels right there, I am planning to fill with dirt and plant my tomato plants in there. And my plan is to string trellis off of the deck, and we will see how that goes. And obviously this is for the same reason. Tomato will be going in here to string trellis off the back part of the deck, along with that barrel as well. And who knows, I may end up planting another, like maybe a cherry tomato in here like I grew last year. A cherry tomato right there. And then last but not least, all the way down here on my swing set trellis is what I'm going to call it. I planted Taiwan yard long green beans in these barrels right here. And also I threw some marigold seeds in there too, like I did last year. They were so beautiful. That is basically it for the whole garden. I'm super excited about all the new things that is going to be grown here this year. Thank you so much for watching.